in Charleston.
Very cool. And where were you born?
I was born here, in Orange County.
Cool. What were your parents like?
Oh, they were fantastic people. I don't really know them. They gave me up for adoption, but I'm sure they were.
And how were your adoptive parents?
Oh, well, I was born here, right? But I grew up in England, and ever since then, I've lived in different families from time to time. And one family, the most amazing family ever, very, as some people say, superstitious, right? I don't think that at all. I think it's actually more real in the spiritual realm, right? I use the spirit realm, right, to get into the mind of each food that I prepare, yeah? So take an orange, right? If you want to prepare an orange, you don't peel it, right? You get to know it. You break apart the layer by layer, and you say, who are you, orange? Who are you? You know? And then the orange will open up and be so tasteful and free inside your taste buds. It's like a dance, yeah?
That's very interesting. And how did you get into cooking initially?
Well, you know, as some of my friends say, it just came upon me like a shooting star. You see a star up in the sky and you say, I wish I could get into cooking, right? And I woke up the next day and I was already in the kitchen. 4 years old, already in the kitchen.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the best part about your job?
4.5 years old. But I don't mind saying different numbers, right? Best part of my job, yeah?
Yes.
I'd say finding out different foods, different cultures, right? So in India, yeah, they have so many different kinds of foods, and most of it tastes like shit. But sorry, can we say that on camera?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
That's cable.
On cable, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, so all these different foods, the cultures, right? And they bring in what I see as well as that superstition, yeah? Okay, so the best part is getting to know the people, right, inside the food, not the food inside the people.
That's fascinating. What's the worst part of your job?
Oh, yikes. Well, you know, I guess the worst part of the job is one time I was cooking in front of the mirror, right? And then all of a sudden it fell on the ground and it broke, okay? You ever have it happen to you? No, you haven't, because you're still alive. I barely made out with my life, yeah? And ever since then, 7 years of bad luck. I didn't have a single job for 7 years, but I still cooked in the kitchen. And they kicked me out every time.
That's incredible. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good job.
Goodness. All right.
Yeah. Oh, and just for you guys, so most of the interviews are going to take a very similar form from me, but if you do give me like interesting stuff, I'll pursue that and ask you more about it. So, are we ready?
Alternate
Yeah.
grocery store manager.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll switch them out. It's good.
Okay.
He set the bar like up here. I'm gonna bring it back down right there.
Bring it back.
Go for it, man.
All
right.
It's going way down right here.
Strength, bring your bar low.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, what's your name?
Joe Phillips.
All right, Joe. Nice to meet you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Huntington Beach.
Very cool. What was your favorite thing about Huntington?
My favorite thing about Huntington Beach was the culinary scene, actually. I was able to experience eating the worst junk food ever, and then I got to learn that that's not the route that I want to take with my life, and I actually was able to find this nice community garden right by the pier. There was homeless people like putting their feces there, and it actually fertilized the vegetables in a way that they enriched them, and it was amazing. And I got a passion for eating healthily, and I actually used my own feces in my gardens.
Wow, that's very interesting. And are other people on board with that? Or what's the usual reaction?
Well, the usual reaction is a little laughter and confusion at times, but you got to realize animals in the woods do the exact same thing, and they eat everything around them. So it's a sort of recycling. You put back in the garden what you take out.
Very interesting. So would you call yourself a naturalist?
Oh, very, very natural, yes. To the extent that other people aren't natural, in my opinion, for the way that they prepare their food and garden, actually.
And what was your father like?
My father, he liked to cook with a lot of high fatty oils, a lot of fried goods. Never really appreciated it. He kind of called me some very strange names when I started switching over to the vegan, vegetarian side. Said I was a nut, didn't deserve to go over for Thanksgiving anymore. It's like, how are you gonna come over here and not eat a turkey? I'm like, well, you can make a tofu turkey or something. You know, I'll still show up and eat like well, I guess just like the grains. But yeah.
Very cool. So what do you do for a living?
I actually work at a grocery store.
And how'd you get into that?
Well, I tried other grocery stores. I even tried like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Mother's Market. I didn't really like them because they still served meat and items that I didn't find as healthy. So I actually created my own. I managed it myself. I've had investors. Some of them have been turned off by the idea of putting my feces with the produce, but I mean, it's going well. I have customers that come by. They're asking me for recipes, which is amazing. Yeah.
So you sell your own produce.
I sell my own produce, yes.
That's very cool. Do you have many employees?
I actually have 4 employees. They're all family members. They're all family members that I've been able to convert into my style of living and gardening.
Oh, that's very cool. What's your favorite part about the job?
My favorite part about the job is just waking up, dropping my feces on the garden, and just being able to pick the ones that are ready to start cooking and selling. It's great. Just waking up in the mornings, doing my business, and getting to business.
And what's the worst part of your job?
The worst part of my job is when I haven't eaten properly and I can't fertilize my food, because then that doesn't allow me to sell any food.
Oh, it's very
It's a cycle. It's a very cycle. Yes.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Of course. Thank you.
You are a construction worker with a superiority complex.
So Bob the Builder?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see where it takes you. All right. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I am Bridget, and I am like the best builder ever.
Oh, that's very cool, Bridget. How did you get into building?
Well, my daddy owns a company, and one day I was like, Dad, I need money. And he was like, why don't you build stuff? And so I did, and I became like the best overnight.
That's very cool. Do you have a high position in your company?
Yes, I am Senior Vice President Manager.
And who's the president?
Obviously my daddy, of course.
Oh, very cool. Well, what was your dad's like? No, what's his background?
Yeah, I don't really know. Can we just get back to talking about me?
Yeah, sure. What was your childhood like? Was it good?
Oh, it's amazing. Everyone loved me. They had to come to my birthday parties or else my dad would blacklist them from our company.
Oh, very cool. And what was your favorite class in high school?
I'm rich. I don't have to go to high school.
Oh, that's...
I was homeschooled all my life, and look how great I turned out.
Yeah, I mean, it's very incredible to watch.
Have you seen the skyscrapers I helped build?
No, what buildings did you make?
Like the Empire State Building, but better.
Oh, okay. Where do you do a lot of your work?
Mostly in Kansas City.
Kansas
Small
City.
town, but it can use a lot more construction.
Did you grow up there?
Nope. Miami.
Miami.
My dad sent me here because, as people claim, they wanted to get rid of me, but I'm like the best, so I had to go where people were doing the worst so I could fix everything for them.
Oh, that's cool. So, is that why you went to Miami or Kansas City?
I went to Kansas City. Apparently everyone there was incompetent, and I'm like a goddess to them.
That's cool. And what is your least favorite part about living in Kansas City?
Kansas City, of course. There are no shopping malls here. I mean, like, yes, there are, but, like, no designer stuff. No Chanel. No Gyochi. I need some Haagen-Dazs, and there's only, like, Cold Stone Creamery. So lame.
You don't like Cold Stone?
You know.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much, Bridget.
1 and J.
You are a surgeon who hates going outside. Are you ready? Cool. Hi, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I'm sorry. Can you shut that? Can you close that?
Yeah, sure. You okay, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
They want to make sure you're comfortable.
Yeah, that damn sun, you know.
Oh, you don't like the sun.
No, I don't. I really do not. That's why I stay indoors all the time, you know. I'm so good with my hands because of it. Well, yeah, you asked me how I grew up, or what?
Yeah, like if you didn't like going outside as a child, or did you go outside as a child, and is that like an obtained thing?
I went out as a child. There was some good times, but then this one time, this kid, he came at me with a knife. You know?
Really?
Yeah. This guy, and I tripped and I fell and I looked up and he was looking down at me and there was the sun right haloing his head, you know, and it was a silhouette. I couldn't see his face. He was just a dark shadow and then the shiny knife right there. And luckily, they stopped him. You know, the proctor stopped him and he moved out of the way and then the sun just blinded me and I just couldn't. I couldn't focus anymore. I couldn't think. My dad took me in. He left me in the house, and I just kept seeing these knives around the kitchen, and I just took matters, you know, into my own hands, and I took those knives and I dissected everything I could inside of the house, you know, and that's why I'm a surgeon.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What was school like for you? You know, med school.
Med school. It was very dark. Just inside 24/7. It was a very exclusive school. My dad sent me to this school in France, I believe it was. I don't know. I don't know how it looks outside. So, but it was very nice. Just practicing every day there. You know, you can't really do anything. They had this indoor pool. They had this indoor park. They had everything indoors. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
That's very cool. So, were you well off?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. Don't really know. I mean, I don't know what anyone else has. I don't know what their houses look like or anything. I just know how mine looks like. I think the world is doing well, right?
I mean, yeah, it depends where you go. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
that explains the bright sun.
Yeah, it was horrible over there, especially in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just kept seeing light here and there in the sun, and people would open windows, and I couldn't take it anymore. So my dad built this spacement for me, and I went down there. He had this whole table with all kinds of knives. You know what he told me? He told me, "You have to overcome your fear, you dumb bastard." So I took those knives and I mastered the hell out of them. And now look at me, you know, I'm the best surgeon there is. They call me the Batman of surgeon, you know, surgeon work. Yeah.
That's very cool. Would you say your father was a harsh man?
I guess people would say that. I just know what they say online. In person, I'm sure he's a good man to his people, to his workers, or whatever the hell. But to me, he was just my dad, you know, and he wanted me to overcome my fears and to be the best I can be. And he knew that I've had trouble under the light, under the sun, and he heard about what happened at school, and he wanted to make me the best under my circumstances. And you know, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
You haven't mentioned your mother yet. What was she like?
Oh, I don't know. She was always at this thing called Coachella or something, or Burning Man or something, one of those things. That sounds like hell, honestly. I don't know. She was, I think my dad used the word hippie, or something like that. Yeah, I haven't heard of her since, but I'm hoping she's doing well. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.